So I've been saying for around about a year, because I am that guy, that SmackDown would be way better if it just went back to 2 hours and we just got a 120-minute SmackDown, and I thought it would, but genuinely too, it just zoomed on by. When we got to the main event of Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso taking on Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo, I was like, well, I'm sure there must be more coming, but it was the last match and it left me wanting more. Do you know how important that feeling is in all walks of life? I never want to be like, oh man, I can't go on, I can't handle it. And I wouldn't say that a 3-hour SmackDown ever got there, but the pace of the thing and how everything mattered because we didn't have any time to sort of overcook the pudding. It's like the Sum 41 album, what's it called? All killer, no filler. That's what a strange reference. That's what we were going for here. It just lit up my life. And some people said to me, oh man, we're not going to get a good showcase of random talent match-wise. We got that Andrade and Phoenix taking on Fraxian match, which was brilliant. My only critique there is both those teams should be on SmackDown tomorrow, not on SmackDown, should be on Raw tomorrow in order to bolster that division. But just so much easier to watch. I was so happy with this. 2 hours to me is the sweet spot for all wrestling shows. That way, when you get to a pay-per-view or PLE, that can feel like your extended card where you can get even more excited and pull your pants down. But people get mad at me all the time. They send me stuff going, oh, Simon, you said that you wanted more opportunities for talent. You're saying this too. Again, I just saw all those 3-hour SmackDowns, and talent wasn't used. Carmelo Hayes barely did anything. The Secret Service actually were used more on this 2-hour show than they have been in months. They actually got a tag team match, which was the best thing ever. And even Meechin and B-Fab turned up on this show. And honestly, usually the 3-hour ones, they used to be backstage going, oh yeah, we should go after the tag team titles. Then they'd walk off and we would never see them again. Now, what I'm excited even more about that is what we did in the opener. I think it's all coming. I think we are setting up some good solid feuds here because Drew McIntyre returned as Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton were talking to each other. Randy Orton has become like a Professor Layton puzzle. You need to listen intently to every single one of his words because he said, Cody, I respect the fact that I hesitated and you didn't. You pulled the trigger, and while I get it, I'm not gonna forget it. He's a telltale game. I said that on Ups and Downs over in What Culture. Check out my SmackDown review as we do go through the whole show beat by beat. But it just means that eventually he's gonna turn on Cody Rhodes. He's gonna drop him with that RKO. He's probably going to lose to Drew McIntyre at one point, which is gonna send him crazy with the voices in his head. We shall get to the Randy versus Cody feud. I've done so many videos on this. I will kind of skirt by it, but I just love how patient WWE are with this. They know they've got John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, which we should focus on. Drew McIntyre has been inserted into the mix, as he should do, at a typically top level. And when Cody Rhodes, as far as I'm concerned, wins that championship back at Hot WrestleMania, Randy Orton will be waiting, and he should win the title too. I love Cody Rhodes. He's one of my favorites, but 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it is, he should drop that title, and Randy Orton should win wild. And then before WrestleMania, of course, Cody Rhodes will win it back. That's fine, because it serves the story. Massive thumbs up from me. Also, as we have got here, just want to thank everyone that signed up for the Patreon this week, patreon.com/Simon316. And if you'd like daily videos for free, please do subscribe. Or you can go over there and drop $5 when we do watch-alongs and all kinds of stuff. We're doing Undertaker versus Undertaker tomorrow from SummerSlam 1994. I'm very excited about that. So yes, great opening segment. Cody Rhodes is our guy. Drew McIntyre is our guy. Finally came back after all these weeks. Randy was about to be our top heel. The only thing that surprised me is that we're doing Drew versus Randy at Satellite's main event. Now, are we doing that because Drew's going to win there and then Randy's going to win at SummerSlam or vice versa? I mean, for me personally, because I think wins and losses should be used as story devices and doesn't mean someone's been buried, Drew should win both of them, because not only does it stick him right at the top of the card where he can stay, but it's perfect cannon fodder for Mr. Randy. He can be like, I can't believe it. I lost to Cody Rhodes. I lost twice to this goober, and Drew McIntyre should cheat. This should be when distractions, interference, and confusion goes totally wild. But it's the rock bottomless of where Randy Orton has found himself, and the fact his back hurts, where he can't take it anymore, and he puts his sights on Cody. And because Randy Orton has the legacy and the gravitas of being a legendary figure, he can get away with having a terrible win-loss record but still going after the World Championship. People will buy it. There'll be some nerds, rightfully so, that will go, well, that doesn't make any sense, but it's Randy Orton. And when you've done what Randy Orton has done, the rules don't really apply. And then I suppose Drew can get involved in this too. I really do think within the next 12 months, that's probably a bit long, because I'm still convinced it's going to be Cody versus Punk at WrestleMania, and that could be absolute baloney. But I think Drew McIntyre needs a run with the title, and I think Randy Orton needs a run with the title. So maybe Drew beats Randy, then we get some kind of draft, and maybe sort of Drew gets insulted and all those kinds of things, and then Punk will go to SmackDown if he's feuding with Cody. I don't know. But it's interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff that we can do. And this is all post-SummerSlam. Again, pre-SummerSlam, it is going to be Cody versus Randy, Randy versus Drew, as my brain betrays me. And I would imagine Drew McIntyre is there almost as a pivot point. So Cody can be like, listen, I need to deal with you guys later, but right now I got to have to John Cena. And John Cena wasn't on this show. So if he's on next week's one or the week after that, we'll probably get through Saturday's main event, so maybe a couple of weeks. You just know it's going to hit home. So just good, really, really good. And the main event was really, really good. I'll always take Two things. The US Championship being focused in the main event is only going to help that belt. And I love the fact that the Bloodline are now just feuding over it. I'm in love with Solo Sikoa. So him getting to be in that position is good. Jacob Fatu is a proper main eventer in the future, so do it now. Never going to get mad at Jimmy Uso because he brings me joy, and I absolutely want to do more with JC Mateo. He felt more like Jeff Cobb on this show. Let's keep leaning into that. We didn't see Tall Tonga. Can't get over that name because it sounds like he's called Tall Tonga because he's tall, and Tangaloa because Solo said you stay in the back. He was overconfident. He did say his family tree is completed now, so I don't think we get any more additions. But if he had, used the dick counter, distractions, interference, and confusion, he likely would have won, but he's not able to do it by himself. This is why I love the Solo character so much. Even when all that Jacob Fatu stuff was happening, people were going, oh man, Jacob Fatu just does all this dirty work for him. Solo's rubbish. That's the idea, man. That's the character. Even when he took over from Roman Reigns, he didn't believe himself to be a noble or a worthy tribal chief. He knew deep down Roman would beat him. And he knew that Cody would beat him if he got into him too, which is why he surrounded himself with insane people. That is how Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu were pitched. They're too insane, but now Solo Sikoa has brought them in. So here, where it was kind of balanced, he lost. How did he win at Night Champions? By cheating. He has to have his guys around him. Jacob Fatu can pick them off one by one. And at SummerSlam, Jacob Fatu will probably win that belt back, and that's perfectly fine. It's a good bit of business. And just allowing Solo to have this small run has made me so damn happy. And after Jacob Fatu had pinned Solo Sikoa as well, so we've set that up. The Bloodline, the family, Vin Diesel, whatever we're calling them, just threw him through a table. All right, you pissed us off. You're going through Alan the announce table, so it was nice and simple. It is interesting because it feels to me like Solo and Jimmy Uso need a third person. And you know who that could be, right? Roman Reigns. Now, it could also be Jey Uso, because we tried to, well, it's not out yet, actually. I did a video trying to plan SummerSlam. I cannot fit Jey Uso and Sami Zayn in anywhere unless they're going to fight each other, unless Jey Uso is going to go and help his brother. I don't 100% know how I feel about that, because I think when you reunite the Usos, you should do it properly. Like, we just threw Jimmy Uso out there in SmackDown when they were in Scotland, or Raw, whatever it was, to the tag match, I thought was just so rushed. I didn't really like it. Next time, it should be beat by beat by beat, because that's what the Bloodline stuff does the best. So it could be Roman Reigns, which doesn't really feel like the typically top position, but it depends how long Roman is back for, although you're well within your rights to go, wait a minute, didn't CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Roman have that stuff? Doesn't he kind of need to fold back into that? And that would be true. That brings us to another conversation. Again, a video that's going to come out soon, where are we going to get some kind of match versus match or four-way thing between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk and Gunther, because they all seem to be, like I say, forming this atmosphere around each other. It's going to be interesting, but either way, it feels like Jacob and Jimmy need a third guy. So Roman or Jay would be the people that I gravitate towards, but I don't know, and I like not knowing. That's exciting. In terms of negatives, the build to Evolution is not great. Like, it's great that we're having the show itself, but I feel like it has to be treated like a proper show. So the build should have loads of time, and the matches have loads of time. Our top two women's matches have been Io Sky going, yeah, I'll fight you, Rhea. Rhea going, all right. And this time, Tiffany going, oh, Trish, I'd love to fight you. And Trish going, I'm going to do it for my kids. Trish Stratus went to that show on a whim because Tiffany Stratton rang her up and said, I got this great idea. What's the idea? I'm not going to tell you. Don't get on the plane, Trish. You don't know what it's going to be. Get some secured information. Obviously, Jade Cargill just has to buzz around like a fly here because she now has to wait till SummerSlam. And Jade's all like, Trish, if you win, I'll beat you at SummerSlam. And she went, all right. And she goes to Tiffany, if you win, I'll fight you at SummerSlam. Tiffany's like, all right. So there's no heels here. We need some heels. Although Naomi is a heel. She smacked Jade Cargill with that brand new briefcase that she's got. And I think at Saturday's main event, it is Jade versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. So Naomi should lose. I don't want her to lose, but I think she will lose. And then she has to cash in at SummerSlam and win that title after Jade Cargill beats Tiffany Stratton. Or however you want to do it, I don't care. As long as Naomi leaves Hot WrestleMania the championship, just her losing at WrestleMania and then winning the Money in the Bank and then losing in no-holds-barred against Jade is fine as long as she has a successful cash-in. This character is so funny. After she had hit Jade, she just went, just did this laugh. I was like, man, you are so... Her and Solo Sikoa, they're my guys at the moment. I'm totally in love with them. And I really like Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss as a tag team. I never thought I would say that, but those tag team belts need star power. And that's exactly what these two can bring to them. It's even got rid of my usual bugbear in wrestling, where you will put two random people together. At least they didn't merge their music. Oh, I can't stand merge together tag team music. But they were taking on Meechin and BFAB, who have been more established as a team, and the Secret Hervis, Alba Fire and Piper Niven, who are established as a team but never have tag team matches, which is good. I love this 2-hour SmackDown because we've got them in proper tag team matches, and I didn't mind Charlotte and Alexa winning because they are stars, and we can finally put a damn spotlight on the tag titles again, which are good, but just never get any spotlight to begin with. Because it's going to be a 4-way as well, with an extra T from Raw and one from NXT, I think. Well, I'm going for Hank and Tank, as we talked about. I think that Liv Morgan, every time, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez should pin either the other Raw team or the SmackDown team. I imagine it'll be Maxine and Natalya. Love them, but they're not really included right now. And then SummerSlam should be Alexa and Charlotte taking on those two, and Alexa and Charlotte should win the, what do you call it? What they call the tag team titles. Absolutely, we should do that. And they should feud properly. It's going to help everybody involved. It's a really nice sort of side quest that Charlotte is doing. I felt for years she needed to be in this position because she's such a great performer and an athlete and a character. But when she dominates the main event scene, you get the crazies on the internet. Sometimes I don't say you have to let the crazies win, but sometimes you just got to shuffle the deck. And this feels super interesting. And they're such an interesting team. Finish was so creative as well. This is what I mean when I talk about, another distraction. Why couldn't we come up with something? Usually my comparison is, why did an elephant walk down, or a goat, or a llama? It's me being an idiot. Whereas here it's just something different. And you can argue it's a little bit funny, but that's okay. But Charlotte Flair is obviously tagging herself in, and Bliss is tagging herself in. So eventually Charlotte's like, watch this, I'm going to win the match. And she pats Alexa Bliss on the head. And the referee decides, well, I think that counts as a tag. Alexa Bliss's face lit up. She runs to the top rope. She hit Twisted Bliss. She got the win for her team. Charlotte was a bit annoyed, but they did embrace afterwards. That's interesting. And sometimes you're going to try stuff like that and it doesn't work. But it is way more fun to sit in action than just somebody else running in. And the rest of being like, oh, there's somebody on the outside. I don't know what I'm doing. And I like this so much as original concept. Yeah, I don't even care the fact they're beating established teams because, again, they have star power. So I was a huge fan of that. I thought it was really good. Did we mention the Andrade Phoenix Fraxium tag team match? I think we did. Andrade and Phoenix won again. It was awesome. So there we go. We're still getting those matches on here. I even liked the crazy triple threat tag, not triple threat, whatever you want to call it. So it was the Wyatt Six take on, who was it? Johnny Gargano was definitely in it. Montez Ford was definitely in it. Chris Sabin. I think Berto too. It's totally wild. Because Nick Aldis is like, yeah, they're serial killers, but you have to fight them. And even though DIY have been walking around saying, listen, they are the biggest threat to the tag team industry ever, Johnny Gargano ran away. Chris Sabin gets killed by Eric Rowan. 1, 2, 3. It is the Wyatts versus the Street Profits next week, I think, for the tag titles. That I don't get. Because Nick had a meltdown here about the fact they all interfered last week, even though that's on his shoulders. That's his responsibility. It just doesn't feel like the right time to change the titles, but I cannot have another run-in. That's what I'm talking about. Usually these matches are just full of distractions. They weren't here. In fact, I don't think there was one match on SmackDown, and that just made it a better show for me, especially 2 hours, because it was compacted. But still a good match. At least we're doing stuff with the tag teams here. As I say, some people got to go to Raw. We've got to shovel some people across. It's not fair. The balance is completely off. You have some decent teams on Raw, but we just can't craft any stories with them because we don't have other people to craft the stories with. And we continue to tease everything between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. That's a cool matchup for me. We mentioned Ron Killings. I think it's Aleister Black versus Ron Killings in 7 days' time. They were super passive-aggressive to each other. Kind of feels like they need a title, but obviously the US Championship is sort of tied up elsewhere. So I don't know what we are going to do. But whoever wins all of this has to go on to something. We didn't see Carmelo Hayes this week, which was weird. But there you go, there's another guy. Am I repeating myself? I think I may have been. It's been a long old day. But Carmelo Hayes never got any extra time on 3-hour SmackDowns, really. So someone said to me, well, he wasn't on. Well, last week he was on for 2 seconds. So what's the difference? We should be using Carmelo more regardless. But I like this episode of SmackDown. I really, really did. It zoomed on by, like I say. I'm going to keep repeating that. Every angle was interesting, apart from the Evolution stuff, which is just rushed. It's not fair. It's not right. I'm not surprised. I don't really care about ticket sales, but I want all shows to do well. I think it's about 4.2 thousand tickets. It should be way more than that, but you haven't given people a reason to care, and you barely promoted it from my point of view. I've got no problem with all women's shows, but it should be treated like any other show. It just, to me, feels like it's a bit lesser than, which sucks. I don't like it at all, especially the weekend that it's on. I don't know what we're going to do next weekend, right? Because obviously we have All In, we'll cover All In. It's AEW's WrestleMania, you can't miss that. Goldberg's retirement feels like a big deal. Evolution is a big deal. There's an NXT show and there's something else too. That is way too much. And I understand counter-programming. I totally understand why WWE would do it. But as a fan, you're like, couldn't we have just done this? Could have done one this weekend and then the one the weekend after that. It's still too many because it'd be SummerSlam. Like, why does it never end? But it doesn't improve the product. And that's all I care about. I'm a fan. I don't care about the 3 initials above the door. I care about how fun it is to consume as a form of entertainment, as a form of media. And that just makes it a bit too much and a bit too wishy-washy. However, good SmackDown. Makes me excited. I want to see where it's going to go. Love the fact it was Bloodline focused because I just love everyone involved, especially Jimmy Uso, man. He's like the forgotten son of all of this. He is so damn good. And yeah, we'll get to Satellite's main event and we'll get to Evolution and we will see what happens. And then it's the big build to SummerSlam, but it's not that big. It's going to be about 2 weeks, which makes Raw kind of interesting because CM Punk is now well in the Seth Rollins camp, which makes sense. So John Cena probably needs to turn up next week and have his big promo off with Cody. And I think given that John Cena may be going good guy soon, he needs to drop a fine speech. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. But he needs to drop a fine speech on Cody Rhodes. I think we've got to that point. I think it is quite exciting. We will see. Now, of course, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you thought about SmackDown last night. Maybe you hated it. Maybe you hate me. It's totally fine. Click the video on the screen, which is my big video about Rhea Ripley, because I got done with a bunch of nonsense people were saying on the internet. Not saying you can't have that opinion. I just don't agree with you. Otherwise, it's grillermind.com/Simon. You go to Simon, get 10% off best fitness supplements that are ships worldwide. Patreon.com/Simon316 for extra content. We've talked about that. Simon Miller 316 on social media. Simon J. Miller on TikTok. Dumb videos. So dumb. Simon Miller on Cameo for personalized video messages, such as your birthday. Big Cartel and Pro Wrestling Tees for a lot of bald t-shirts, but why wouldn't you want that? But enjoy your Saturday, my friends. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Goodbye.